Oh, cool, you came back. Welcome to this week's show. Now, this week on the show, we're taking a request off our forum. Some guy named Jello asked us to show him how to build a target range, you know, like private stuff. And I thought, wow, cool. Jello Biafra is watching my show. That's really cool. Then I realized it wasn't Jello Biafra. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. We'll show you how to make a target range in your backyard. You know, there's always room for a show request by a guy named Jello. And I get a feeling General Mills food is just going to sue my buns off. Yeah. First things first, when you decide to build your own private target range on your own property, you want to have some sort of a backstop. You want something that's going to be able to stop the paintballs from entering somebody else's property and possibly injuring somebody or their pet. You really don't want to have anybody getting hurt because you wanted to target practice a little bit. Now, in our case, the backdrop's going to be the Fox River, so I don't think anybody's going to have really a problem with that. Now, once you've decided where you're going to be putting your target range, the next thing you want to do is set up your targets. Now, my personal favorite target are Mountain Dew bottles, but I didn't bring any empties with me this time because I just... Wait a minute, I got the six-pack in the car. Hang on. Good stuff. Leave the other two in the car for later. Now we've got our targets, all we got to do is set it up, which brings me to the other point. You got to bring some string along with you. Always useful stuff. Make sure it's also got a cutting implement, like this one comes with it on the roll. So let's set up some targets. I've already got a couple of these set up on my backstop here. Now I like to use bottles because, well, they're plentiful and they're easily find. You can get a lot of them. Now you put slip knots on all of my strings so that when I wear out one bottle, I can take it off the string and put a new one in its place. And if you don't know how to tie a slip knot, well, go find your local Cub Scout master. He'll be more than happy to show you. Now when you're setting up your strings, what you want to do is you want to make sure the ends don't fray. So what I like to do is I like to put a knot on the end of the string just to keep it from fraying. Now I also like to tie my bottles at varying lengths and heights because, you know, not all of your targets are going to be exactly this tall. Some of them are going to be on the ground, some of them are going to be a little bit higher. You know, just kind of mix and match it to your own taste. This one's good to go, so let's start shooting stuff. Now I set up my target range specifically for what I like to do, and that is long-range shooting and cover shooting. So I put one bottle specifically in the weeds so that I would have to shoot through a bunch of stuff to get at it. And I set up another one way in the back on a really long string so that I would have to anticipate its swing as I'm shooting. Now you can use anything you want to on your target range. I just prefer bottles. But I mean, if you've got like say an old satellite dish, an old license plate, or even some old broken pods just hanging around, you can use that too. Now the reason I suggest these targets is because these things are fairly durable. Now, I mean, bottles, yeah, they're going to break apart and such, but those are cheap and you get them anyway when you buy Mountain Dew, right? But all the other things, you can set it out there, pretty much it's going to last quite a long time, and it'll absorb a lot of hits from paintballs. Now once you have your target range set up and you've got everything in a safe position, and you want to start using it, again, practice as you play. Make sure you got your goggles on, make sure that you got your gun chronographed at the correct speed. Now I know I keep on repeating this over and over again, but you can't be too conscious about safety, so safety first, everybody. You know, I don't have like one of those gleaming icons of ding when I do that. Now once you have your target range up and running, then you don't want to just sit there and just wail away at one target, although I will admit it is kind of fun to do that. The reason you're setting up a target range is to learn how to get better, how to get more accurate. So, practice that. Practice one shot at a time, practice small bursts, practice sneaking balls through little holes in order to get targets that are in really deep cover. Also, you can do some of the things I showed you last year. You can run the ladder across, you can run the ladder back and forward. These are all things that you can do to improve your accuracy. Accuracy is not a skill that you can purchase, and it's not something that just magically appears overnight. The accuracy fairy doesn't come to you and go, bing, you're accurate now. No, you have to sit here and do the time. You have to sit here and learn the skills, and you have to do the shooting in order to get more accurate. So let's do some shooting. Now when you're doing your target shooting, the other thing you want to do is not just practice from a standing position, because how often are you playing paintball and you find yourself in the perfect shooting stance? Practice kneeling, practice on your belly, practice from weird angles, because this is the kind of thing that's going to happen when you're playing. I don't believe I got that. Now another skill that you can practice on the target range like this is that you hang your targets from a long string. The first hit will set the target swinging. Once it's swinging, you want to start hitting it again on the swing. What you're teaching yourself how to do is anticipate motion. Because if you can anticipate your ball hitting the bottle and both of them meeting at the correct spot, then you can hit a player on the run no matter how fast or how slow they're going. Now, building your own home target range is a great way to sharpen your skills when you're not playing on the weekends. But again, keep in mind that you want to do it safely and you want to do it with a little bit of consideration for your neighbors. But got a little bit more paint left, so I'm going to keep on going. See you guys next week. That's like it's running out of paintballs, you know?
The drummer from the Vipers only got one R. The drummer from the Vipers only got one R. The drummer from the Vipers only got one R. The drummer from the Vipers only got one arm. The drummer from the Vipers only got one arm. But why is everybody always picking on me?
See, there's a reason this takes all day to film. It's because I keep getting distracted. What you guys can't see is that there's open play going on over there and over there. And I keep on getting this itch, you know? Gotta play, arr, gotta play, arr. I am just a social paintball player. I can quit anytime I want. I only play paintball on weekends with friends.